Welcome back to the Total Focus Podcast. I'm your host, Paul. Our special guest this week is a member of the Baltimore Ravens cheerleaders alumni, cheered for 2 years, and I'm so excited to have her on the show. Taylor Crumb is on the show. What an amazing person to learn about getting into dancing, stunting, and all the opportunities of being a professional cheerleader. So you should stay tuned. And welcome to the show.
Hi.
Well, it's so awesome to have Taylor on the show, and I'm so excited to have a current Redskins Ravens cheerleader on the show. So I really wanted to get a lot of my cheerleading friends involved in the show, and really get someone that's so successful with the squad, and probably give you a lot of your insight and all your experience getting to that point. So, is cheerleading something that has always been a part of your life and you've been pursuing, or has it become a passion just recently in the last couple of years? Because I do have friends that pick it up very easily, but I also have friends that have been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, so I actually was a competitive dancer for about 15 years, but I've been dancing since I was two.
Now, what's your
Uh,
definition of dancing? Is that like hip hop or ballet dancing or jazz?
so I did ballet, lyrical, contemporary, jazz, tap, hip hop, and point, and a couple acro classes just to keep up my flexibility. Um,
Was that out of school, or was that part of school competitions?
that was after school. In upstate New York, we don't really have like what they have here, which is like a Poms team. So if you wanted to dance, it was like right after school.
So, was it cool to have that second group of friends to go hang out with? And was that a different experience than cheering, or having that experience where you actually cheer for like your school?
Yeah, having that outside friend group was really nice, just because I was the only girl from my dance team that went to a different high school than everybody else. So a lot of the girls already knew each other from being like in elementary school together, middle school, high school. Um, but we all became really close because you do spend um, hours on hours with them. Because like as soon as you get out of school, you have like an hour break, eat, and then you go to dance class, and you don't get home till like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Is dancing something that a lot of people can just pick up, or do you think that you need to be really focused and only doing dancing to really to do well, to perform either just in a group, or excel individually?
So it definitely takes a while to pick up. They normally start you off in ballet because ballet is the, um, I would say, the glue that holds everything together. Um, to be successful in everything else, and ballet is the one of the hardest um, things to learn because it is so technical. And that's where you learn like your timing, and then that transfers over into your group dances, so everyone's on time together and it looks precise and it's visually appealing when everyone's on the same page on the same time.
Now, when you were a little kid, how did you get into it? Was it something that your mom suggested for you to do and you did it as a little child, or did you naturally were drawn to it and you asked to do it?
So I asked to do it. My cousin was actually a dancer, and I went to one of her recitals at the end of the year. And I was in the. My mom tells me the story all the time. I was actually in the aisles trying to do all the dance moves with her. I was about almost two, And, from that, I would just dance around in the house. And my mom's like, I think I'm going to put her in. And it kind of just stuck.
Well, clearly she made the right decision because you've taken that skill and you've gone to the highest level in professional sports. So um, I would say that that's definitely an achievement. So
Yes.
um, is the end goal in dancing to cheer for a professional team, or is is dancing for a concert series or doing a performance arts even higher? Like, I know a lot of people believe that the NFL dancing is the top, but you could go higher, right? Or is there?
So with dance, the good thing about that, there's so many like options that you could do. And so when I was still in the high school, I was trying to figure out what route I wanted to go because for a really long time, I wanted to dance on cruise ships, which you could do. And it sounds amazing because you just stay on the cruise ship for free and you get to go all to these amazing places. And then you dance for the entertainment. Um, Most dancers that are on their way to being professionally trained, like people who dance at Joffrey during the summer, um, people who want to be in ABT, which is American Ballet Theater in New York City, and become a company dancer. That's what people who want to do like a more like the professional route of dance. And NFL is also professional as well. Um, I did it on the stunt team for Ravens because Ravens has two teams. They have their dance team and then they have their stunt team as well.
Yeah, it's one of the unique things we have is because we're the only team in the NFL that has a stunt team, and there are two different teams that are basically on one squad.
Yes.
So do you
Yeah.
do you get recognized a lot from the dancing community from just your dancing, or do you get a lot of attention that just because you're on the actual team?
When I was doing competitions, I would get recognized. Like one of my best friends now, she actually told me before we became friends that if she knew my dance studio was going to be at the competition, she would find where my numbers were and she would come and watch me. And I didn't even know that until she took a summer class at my dance studio, which I thought that was really sweet. Her and I are very close. But I would definitely say for dancing, I at my school I get recognized for cheerleading for the Ravens.
Is it? Do you think it? Those people were fans, but they become friends. It sounds like that person was a fan first, but has become a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So does that is that unique to have someone um like how does that put you as a performer to have that you have people that you don't know but um they're coming to root for you? Is that put more stress on you, or give you more courage to do better, knowing that there are people specifically coming to root for you to make sure that you do better?
It's definitely a motivation for me. So if when I'm backstage and getting ready and I know my friends are out there, I'm like, I have to do good, make sure I hit everything on the right count, don't make any silly mistakes. Um, so it's definitely motivation for me. It's never a stress thing for me.
So in your young years, you're doing off school um, competitions. So you're mingling with people outside your schools.
Hmm.
Now, in the high school setting, did they not have cheerleading there as well, or they did?
We did have a cheerleading team. We
That
don't
was,
have like a Palms
but you
team,
didn't
which
have
is
a
what,
Palms team. Okay.
yeah.
So did
So
you? I'm sorry. I was gonna. Did you pursue the cheerleading team then to be part of the school?
I did. So in New York, where I'm originally from, um, you have to join the cheerleading team at ninth grade because that's considered high school. But my school was a junior, senior high school. So it was like seventh grade to 12th grade. So you have to wait till ninth grade to be on the cheer team. So I did that for a year and then I moved to Maryland and I took the year off just so I can get acclimated with everybody else because it's a big move because I came from such a small school with like 45 kids in my graduating class to about 350 to 400 people in my graduating class. So it was a different setting for me, and I just wanted to get used to it. And then my junior year of high school, I joined the cheerleading team, and I
Well,
did that my junior senior.
transitioning in that time bracket is never easy to work out. So, how did you cope, and how do you think you did um, transitioning like that from a small school into uh, a a mid level or a large school?
It was definitely different for me. Luckily, before I moved, my mom had already moved down during the school year, so I can finish out my school year. So she was in Maryland before my dad and I were. And one of the weekends, we went down to visit my mom, and she had signed me up to do a shadowing process with somebody. So on like one of the days they had school, I just followed this one girl around, and her and I were friends. And I met some of her friends, and she introduced me to some of the other people like on the cheer team because um, she knew I wanted to do that, and that's what I did in high school. So I had some friends going into my 10th grade year that remembered me from when I shadowed one of the girls. Um,
Do you feel
and
that?
then
Do you feel that because you went through that, that you had dance, that you did better in school without it? Like if you didn't have it, do you think you would have done as well?
I think dance definitely helped because, as I said, you go to school, you get there about 7:45, and then it goes all the way till 2:30. Um, and then you go to dance class, and I'm like, you have to get your homework done in a certain amount of time. So like an hour after school, I'd work on my homework. Anytime I had a break during my dance days, I would do my homework. And after school is when after dance is when I would finish. So it definitely helped make sure I don't procrastinate it or anything because I knew I had a limited amount of time. And then I'd eat, do my homework, study for whatever test I had coming up, and then it would just repeat the next day.
So I mean, it definitely sounds like it was a really game changer because it sounds like if you didn't have dance in your life, that um, that big move would have been really difficult to just drop in and just go to school and have to like build new friends.
Yeah. The dance studio I went to when I originally moved here, a lot of the girls did go to the same school as me, so that was good. Um, so we would talk about things we had in common throughout the day, and that builds that relationship with them.
So you're starting cheerleading in 10th grade. Now, what's the difference between high school cheerleading and now did you pursue cheerleading in college or did you not do that at all and you just pursued professional cheerleading from that on, from high school on?
So my 11th grade year is when I started cheerleading, and then my 12th grade year, um, I wasn't ready to give it up because I decided I didn't want to go to college because I didn't think that was the right route for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of my friends suggested, Taylor, why don't you go try out for the Ravens? They have a stunt team, and her mom uh, put my mom on with this guy that cheered for the Ravens, and he gave me a couple private lessons before I went and auditioned. So I made the Ravens my senior year of high school.
Okay. So you had no. So what is your opinion? The big difference between that high school experience being on the field to NFL. Now, I understand that there are much more people, bigger stadium, but are the skills basically the same skills, or are you actually doing different things to achieve the same goal, to cheer for either the team or to get the fans ready and rowdy?
Definitely both the same goals with cheering for the team and getting the fans rowdy. Um, the big difference that I learned with going from high school to the NFL is because since high school is almost always all girl, so you have about 4 people in your stunt group, and then when you cheer for the Ravens, it's yourself and one other person, and the guy throws you up and catches you in the air. So it's different with how you hold your body positions with both. So that was the biggest change for me from high school to NFL. But other than that, it's always the same goal.
And you're saying just because guys don't that kind of thing, or is it because the stunt is we're doing something more difficult, so we're throwing you higher? Is that what you mean by the different positions being held? What do you mean?
So for all girl, you hollow out your body, like you bring your shoulders forward
Gotcha.
and you kind of concave a little bit. With the guys, you kind of lean back a little bit, but not so back that you fall. You
Gotcha.
just have that perfect posture position.
So it's let them catch you, then the other way. Then
Yes.
okay. And is that assume that the guy has more strength to take in your weight as you fall in than younger women would do in high school?
Um, I would say because all guys are different.
Of course.
I had for my first year, my second year, I had some pretty big guys throw me up in the air. Um, but it just makes it easier on them and on yourself because then it's considered the right body position. Um, and same with all girl, it makes it easier on your bases.
Gotcha. So even in high school, would you be doing the same high level throws or combinations or is it pyramid? Is that the right word?
Mhm.
Of shows, or are there certain things you don't do from high school, or you would never do in high school um, for safety reasons?
Yeah. So in high school cheer, you get a book of what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. So for high school, you're not allowed to do like flips in the air, like a back tuck or a front full or a front layout because of safety reasons. We in NFL, there's no rules for cheerleading for the stunt team.
Wow.
Um,
So there's not even one like we recommend not to do that at all. Everything's open.
well, as long as you can do this skill, our coach would see what our highest level of skill that we could do, and be like, okay, that's the highest one. We'll work on new things at practice to kind of hone all of your other skills together.
So if someone
There's
go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, there's one girl on the team. She can do um, a full in the air, or like a double full. It's very hard, but she's been on the team for about 14 years, so she definitely has that skill level.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine even standing on top of someone alone, having someone throw you in the air and then you coming back down. So um, I'm just amazed, like the whole process of that. So um, I guess my question would be: so there's not, if someone's watching the performance, are they putting all of the people that have the same skill level in one set of people so that they all look unified, or is everyone like scattered so everything looks different when you're looking at the group?
So say we're doing like an end zone routine. We have people that come in and choreograph, or people from the
Hmm.
team choreograph. So they do it so everyone's unified. So if one girl is across from another girl, they're both going to be doing the same type of trick in the air. So if it's a back tuck, both of them are doing a back tuck. And then say there's a group behind them and they're doing a front layout, both of them will do a front layout just so it's unified, but it still has that level of excitement, and it's visually appealing to the crowd.
Of course, and then it's staying within your safety level without putting you at jeopardy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what how did that experience go? Like, so are you still at that point, that first year, were you still going to school, or were you just almost graduating? Because how's that experience? Because a lot of people, put professional sports on a big high level, and it's considered a professional job too. So
hmm
how does that experience at a 17-year-old level, having that job experience? So,
Um,
were you still going to school, and were you put under that pressure, or were you transitioning out, is basically?
so I was 18, because you have to be 18 years or older, or going to be 18 in the first of May in order to try out. Because then you're considered a legal adult.
Right.
Um, so I was just about to graduate when I made the team.
Gotcha. So you only
So I
had
was
a couple more months to, so there wasn't a lot of pressure put on you then.
no,
No.
still a lot of pressure. Got to make sure you keep up your grades. You have finals, prom, graduation, and then going uh, to Baltimore and practicing and doing all of that stuff.
So when you have someone come up to you and they say, um, let's say that they've never danced before, would
hmm
you, and maybe they're only 15 or 16, what do you think that they should do to put them in a right path to dance with someone? If it's not
hmm
NFL, maybe it's NFL, maybe it's a semi-pro team.
Um, and they've never danced before, I would definitely say to find a dance studio. You can do drop-in classes to see if you like the style, if you like the other girls in there, see if you mesh well. You can do drop-in classes wherever you want. They're around $10 to $20 for a drop-in class.
And what's a drop-in
And
class for people that don't know anything about it? Is that kind of like a beginner course? Is like for college? Is that like a 101 class?
so a drop-in class is so say like for me for once I moved to Baltimore, and I was working my retail job, so retail hours always vary. So I would find a day that I had off. I would look in for a dance class somewhere, and you would drop into that class. You would call ahead of time to say, "Is there any space available? I'm interested in coming to this class tonight." And if yes, then you go to that. You pay the $20 or however much it costs for the drop in. You go and you take that class.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
so it's a course that may be going on, and you're just going to take it for that one afternoon.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to commit yourself to every Thursday at 6 o'clock to perform. You could honestly build the skills, in your opinion, by looking at all of the dance studios and finding ones that work in your schedule.
Yeah. You definitely could do that. I would say if they want to dance professionally or on the semi pro team, um, or dance anywhere, I would definitely do the drop in class first. And if you like the studio, you like how the classes run, then I would try to do it as often as possible. And with dance classes, they come up with like um, monthly payments. I know for me, when I did competition dancing, um, you pay month by month, and with all the classes that you take. So normally it would be like Monday, I would have ballet for an hour and a half, jazz for an hour and a half, maybe like a 15 to a half hour break so I could eat my food and do some homework, and then tap for an hour and a half, and then go home. And that's normally like Monday through Friday. And then on like Saturdays were like kind of our fun class days, because Monday through Friday is when you learn your competition. But they also have technique classes, which is what you would want to look for if you want to do it after high school.
I just wanted to take 1 second from this great interview and talk about our sponsor of the week, Mid-Atlantic Video and Photography Productions. No matter if you're planning a wedding, a special event, or you just need an amazing headshot, they are the team to get the job done. You can reach out to them at 443-422-3830. Again, that's 443-422-3830. Or you can just go right to their website at mavpp.com. Now let's get right back to the show and listen to this great interview. You're in a very unique setting. You're doing stunting. Can you give us some hints on the stunting side too, for someone that has never done stunting and they want to get into stunting? Is there to be really polite about it, do you need to be at a certain weight and keep yourself healthy enough to do it as well?
Definitely, yes. You want to, make sure you're healthy. But if they've never stunted before, there's always an open gym at one of the all-star gyms, like on Wednesdays at, I would say, 8 o'clock, and it can run till 11 o'clock. And I think open gyms normally cost about $15.
Now, is All Star, is that a brand like Bally's, or is that just like is that a competition? What do you mean by
All Star is competition cheerleading. So like Maryland Twisters is an all star team.
Gotcha.
And it's like what I would do is competition dance. They're competition cheer outside of high school.
So, would you recommend people to pursue that before doing auditions for a couple of years, or would you recommend them to just go ahead and go through the audition process even though they might not be ready for it?
I would definitely do some open gyms first. Before I tried out, I had about 5 lessons for an hour. So that's 5 hours total before I tried out for the Ravens. And it does depend on how fast you can pick it up. Some people do the open gyms for a year or so, maybe not even, or half the year, to really hone the skill.
But in all sincerity, you also had 8 years, if I'm doing my math right, of dancing too. So does that not play a factor in it?
It definitely
stunting?
It played a factor just because of the flexibility that I had. So I could do a heel stretch in the air, be able to hold my own weight, which is an important part too. And by holding your weight, you kind of just squeeze all the muscles in your body to make yourself feel lighter for the guy.
Gotcha. So there are some things that being on both sides are really important to help he's considered the base? Is that what his position is called?
Yes.
So the more you can take off him, the better the performance is, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. So you're going into your second or third year?
So I only did Ravens my rookie year, so my first year and my second year.
Okay. Oh, so did you not come back this year?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Is it just because you're doing something else, or? Well,
so this year I did do the audition process, but it was not my year.
gotcha.
There was a lot of talent, they did say normally after a really good Ravens season, um, a lot of talent comes through.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so sorry that they didn't bring you back. I know that I was going to ask you about preparing for um, to make the team every year. Do you feel that you didn't do enough, or do you think that it really was just based on there was so much talent there that they kind of pushed out other people that were really good, but they're just influx of people that are new to the area too that are just like really really talented people.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of talent. And seeing as I am so young, I do have a couple years left in me to do cheerleading. Um, but this year, I'm really going to focus on myself, work on maturing a lot more, um, and honing more skills so I can come back with more tricks up my sleeve.
Gotcha. Well, I'm excited that you don't find that to be um, defeating. You're going to take this and be motivated to be the best person possible. Are you contemplating auditioning for Redskins? Because now there's actually a break enough that you could. Do you want to try for Redskins, or is that you just giggled? So is that because there is uh um I guess a personality difference when it comes to most people believe that like the Ravens are like the Democratic, very um conservative. The Ravens are very conservative, and then the Redskins are very Democrats. The very very short skirts and everything. So, is that perceived in the cheerleading world too?
I'm not really sure. I've never really heard it like
Described that
that
way,
before. Yeah.
but like, do you do you see what I'm saying? Have you heard it another way, but saying like how like the Ravens have like normal dresses and the Redskins have really short dresses is basically is the difference.
Gotcha. I would say only thing uh about what I've heard is just our style of dancing is very different.
Right.
Yeah, they're more. I think they're more hip hop in that area. Ravens is definitely more about the sharpness of the movement that we're doing.
And is it also you have to dance and write something that the stunt team can perform too? Because the stunt team might not be as skilled dancer as the actual dancing team. Is that correct too?
So for the stunt team, we also dance as well. Um, we learn about 9 of them, perform them at camp, and throughout the season, we'll do about maybe 4 or 5 of them.
Okay.
So we still dance,
But
just
there,
not like how the dancers dance, like with the high kicks and such like that.
okay, so there are some accommodations. So they might modify the dance where you don't have to throw the high kick or whatever. So there is some modifications for the stunt team than there is for just the dance team.
Yeah, so like when we're doing our end zone routine, the dancers are in the end zone, and then stunt is right behind the end zone. But the dancers stick with the dancing, and the stunters stick with all the stunting. I think only one time this year did a couple of the stunters go up to the dancers, and we were part of the kick line. But on like the sidelines, we don't do like high kicks or any turns, calypsos, stuff like that that the dancers would do on their sideline.
Gotcha. So you didn't answer it, so I'll ask you again,
Oh,
and you're more than welcome to say, are you considering auditioning for another team, like the Redskins or maybe the Washington Wizards, or is that still up in the air?
I haven't really thought about any of that yet. Just trying to focus on myself and this quarantine, which
Gotcha.
hopefully will be over soon, so I can really take a look at my options.
No, no, that's fair. Do you feel some loyalty to Baltimore and the Ravens for giving you the first opportunity, and then also you live in this community?
Yeah, my loyalty definitely. I definitely have some loyalties to the Ravens. They are my team. Um, and I love the city. I think it's so unique and very historic.
Is it frustrating or more devastating that um, you put all the effort in and you're not picked to come back this year because it's not something like, you sign up and you're on the team. They have to pick you. So was that hard to go through, or is it just something that makes you a better person?
Um, so the first day I kind of took it hard. The second day I took it hard too, but as the days go on, like it's not as hard. Um, I'm gonna take it, motivate myself. Um,
Have you had the opportunity to talk to any of the senior advisors, to get some insight on what you can do better, or is that not
um,
something that really goes on?
um, I know what I could do better with, like I said, with like myself. I'm gonna work on getting some tumbling down because I don't have any tumbling except for a back handspring. Um, so that way, when I do come back, really wow them with what I learned.
Now, is that something you can just go to um, Maryland Twisters and really work on it there, or try to make their F5 team and work on it there? Is that what you do to do that, or do you just go to what you were suggesting, go into one of those jump-in classes and do that? Is that what you do?
Yeah, so you could go to open gym, like I've said,
Hmm.
or you can get a private lesson with somebody. And um, I know a couple guys on the team who are skilled at tumbling do private lessons.
So is that what your mindset is, that you're going to focus on that then?
Yeah.
So to bridge yourself, are you working then to get the are you going, you said you weren't going to school, but have you decided to go to school now, or
Um, Not yet. Probably when I decide to move back home to New York, um, I'll go to school for business
okay.
at one of the local colleges that we have.
So moving back home to New York is on the agenda in the near future.
Yeah, within maybe a year.
Okay. Is that, you just feel that that's more home then?
Yeah, I did grow up there. My entire family's there. Um, and I have some jobs lined up there as well.
Okay. Anything cool?
Um, so one of my mom's friends opened up her own all-star gym, and she
Oh,
said whenever I come back to New York, I can come and coach with her.
that's awesome. So you're going to stay in the industry that you've done and excelled in. So that's awesome.
Yes.
So do you think that you're going to be in the dancing career your entire life then?
Yes.
Okay. So in all sincerity, do you see yourself owning your own gym then?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So this is just a really good like stepping stone to getting enough experience to being a really successful gym owner and helping other people make their goals.
Yes.
Awesome. And then in New York, there's at least 30 teams to be cheerleaders, right? You have all of the football teams. You have the hockey teams have like fun teams where they throw like promo teams and they do some dancing, right?
Mhm.
and then you have the lacrosse teams. You have so like being in New York would probably be a really great place to have a studio. Then, right?
Yeah. So right now, I am under the impression the closest All Star gym from where I'm from is in Syracuse, which is about 45 to an hour away, and people do travel out there. But I'm
Week?
thinking
Are you saying like weekly or daily?
weekly, daily to the
Wow.
All Star gym. That's a lot of gas. And if I open mine in maybe the heart of upstate, um, that would save them a lot of money on gas. It's local, um, and I have 2 years under my belt with the Ravens.
I mean, it sounds like you've. I mean, was that always the goal, or you just happened to make the team so early that it became the goal?
It became the goal.
Gotcha. So, in hindsight, for those younger girls, if they want to get into dancing, what's your suggestion? Should they shoot just to try to make the team, like or to be in a great organization? Like, what's the mindset that allowed you to get where you are today?
My mindset, going into auditions my first year, um, I was shocked that I didn't make it, but extremely happy. Um, they saw something in me both years, and I was extremely grateful that they did. Um, but my mindset, just stay positive. Um, if you mess up, just keep going, pick it back up, kind of a thing.
And do you hold that to this day, that that's the kind of positive mindset you need to be successful in this industry?
Yes. So, like during auditions, they teach you a dance. And if you mess up, it's okay. Just try to pick it back up.
Gotcha.
Because that's what they want to see. They want to see you move fast on your feet. That if you do mess up, you can't pick it back up right away.
So, if you had your dream out, um, uh, like scenario, okay,
Mhm.
would you do another year in Baltimore, then go to New York, and then would you dance for another team up there just so you have that name recognition, and then maybe save up enough money to open your gym, or would you just pursue trying to open up your gym right away and not do any other professional dancing?
Um, so dream scenario, I would do another year on Ravens, and then eventually move back home, um, go to college to get my business degree and my coaching license, and get my foot in with coaching with either it's high school, an all star, and do that for a few years because it's different coaching than being on the mat and having someone teach it to you. You have to learn to be that leader. Um, and then I would open up my own gym.
Okay. So you don't necessarily think that you need to have any credibility with the New York teams. You think that just being in the alumni from another state will still give you enough credibility then.
Yes.
That's awesome. Um,
Well, both New York teams. So the Bills don't have a cheerleading team anymore. The
yes, after that
Giants,
issue, yeah, I know.
yeah,
So
the
sad.
Giants. I think they do have a cheerleading team, but that's all the way down in New York City.
No, it's the Jets have it. The
The
Jets do.
Jets have
Yeah.
that.
The Jets have the jet setters or the it's a very cute little outfit and everything. But yeah, the Giants don't have it for some reason.
Yeah. So that's kind of far, and I think my mom wants me to be close to home.
No, I understand that. So I just wanted to take one extra second and talk about our sponsor of the week, Mid Atlantic Video and Photography Production. No matter if you're planning a wedding and you need a wedding videographer, you're doing a music video, or you're doing a commercial, They are the team to get the job done. You can reach out to them at 443-422-3830. Again, that's 443-422-3830. Or you can go right to their website at mavpp.com. Now let's get right back to this great interview. This is the part of the show where I let you talk about anything that we haven't discussed. So, is there some kind of skill or recommendation or tip or some kind of plug? Someone doing something really amazing in your life that you want everyone to know about. So,
Could you repeat the question one more time?
So, is there anything important going on in your life that you want everyone to know about, or is there some skills in the dancing world that's really important, or do you have any tips to recommend to anyone that we haven't discussed?
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
This is an opportunity for more people to learn more about you.
Okay. So for dance, some of the things that you do want to focus on, like I said, is ballet, which helps with technique. Learning how to do a pirouette, which is a turn, and fouettes, because a lot of NFL teams do look for that. So you can be in that like center group, because there's only a few girls that do it on Ravens that I know of. For cheer, I know, well, for stunt cheer, as long as you can get to hands for boys, they take a look at that, and then they can teach you from there. They basically look for someone, like, they don't have to be beyond perfect when you go into these auditions, as long as they can see something in you, as long as you're coachable, it's what they look for. Um,
So
me,
so can I ask you one question, because you haven't
yeah,
mentioned it all, and I just find it curious. So your performance outweighs everything else, correct? Is that how everything's specifically laid out, correct?
for auditions,
Yes. Or just
yes.
how they pick the team, right?
You're as long if you stand out to them, um, and they remember you, that's always a good sign.
So
You want to make sure when you're doing your audition, you're smiling, you're doing facials, you're hitting your movements sharp, clean, and precise, and that your stunt looks good as well.
so because this is a very showy and very what's the right word? Subjective sport.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's really, really gorgeous, would they automatically make the team and then they'll teach you how to be a dancer? Or is that not really something that happens? You can't be that gorgeous and then not know how to dance.
Yeah, you can't be that gorgeous and that have them teach you.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's just like a rumor or a fallacy that people like put out there. So you need to be in some way being able to be coachable or able to dance.
yeah. As long as you have that dance or stunt skill behind you,
Okay.
golden.
Okay. So when those rumors happen, those are just false rumors, and the truth of the matter is that that person is skilled enough to be a dancer and does it well enough, but they just happen to be really gorgeous too. So they just happen to have the jackpot then. So
Yes.
okay. All right, because there are those people out there that this is a very, like I said, touchy subject when people get offended. So looks play a role in it, but you're saying, and the comments you've gotten, that if you don't know how to dance, then you're not going to be picked for the Ravens. And that's good to hear, because it sounds like I'd rather have really skilled people dance and not get hurt than someone who's really gorgeous and like going to make everyone else get hurt. I mean, is that also the other concern too?
Yeah, and it's not just for Ravens, it's for all the NFL dance teams as long as you have, a dance skills in your background, they look for that, and, each team has a different look that they're going for as well, um, so yeah.
All right. It has been such a pleasure to have you on the show. I hope you really enjoyed um, telling all your experience, and I'm so excited to have my first alumni Ravens cheerleader. So I hope you really appreciate the support you've gotten from the community, and even though Baltimore's not your first home, I hope you have it as your second strong home. So
Thank you so much, I had a great time talking with you, and Baltimore definitely is my second home.
good. Well, I will stay in tune. And hey, when you make the team next year, we would love a follow up.
Of course.
Taylor, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was such an incredible experience to learn all about the dancing community and all of the things that you need to do to prepare to be a professional cheerleader. I think that our audience really will enjoy these episodes, and I appreciate your time so much today. Don't forget to all of my amazing listeners, our episodes drop every Thursday afternoon. We're on iTunes and on YouTube. Please give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. I am so thankful for our community growing, and I appreciate everyone for subscribing. Don't forget, also in this feed, we have a movie review show with our co-host Ivan Carlos called The Movie Breakdown. Um, we are so excited to have some more episodes coming out, so stay tuned to that. And as always, stay tuned.